What's going on, guys? Max here, and it has been a while since I've said that. And I'm here today to explain why I've fallen off the face of the planet over the last 2 years. That was it was never my intention to just quit YouTube like this. But yeah, where did I start? Basically, guys, I have long COVID. Now, on the face of it, that doesn't sound very serious, and it's not in the sense that I'm not gonna die tomorrow or anytime soon. However, it has massively impacted my life over the last 2 years. It's even led to me losing more of my vision. It's been pretty horrendous, guys. So I'm going to explain what's been going on with me exactly, what my symptoms are, and where I am right now. But I want to start the video off with some positives because it's hard to tell that story without sounding very negative. And I am very positive. I'm a very positive person, and things are looking very positive. I am on the mend, which you'll hear about later. I'm a lot better than I was a year ago. Even a month or two ago, I was in South Africa with Gib and Harry and Chip and had a great time, and that's not something I could have done a year ago. So I am on the mend, and things are looking positive. Also, generally, every negative situation in my life has turned into a positive, and this will be no different. Why am I a YouTuber? I had really bad health issues when I was 14. I left school at 15. No qualifications because of all the issues I was having, and that led me to really focus on being a YouTuber and focusing on that hobby. And if it wasn't for that really bad period of my life, I wouldn't have the life I have today. I wouldn't have been a YouTuber. And even outside of health, I've had a couple of failed business ventures back in the day that I've learned a lot of lessons from, and have really helped me today. I'm working on bigger projects, and if I made the same mistakes, I'd be finished. And even relationships, had a pretty toxic relationship a couple of years ago. Came away from it realizing I was a very emotionally uncentered person. I needed to grow up, and I did, and I've matured. And my point is, guys, that every negative in life, whether it be work, relationships, health, can be turned into a positive as long as you look at it, have the right mindset, and don't make the same mistakes, and you really learn from it. You will be better off for it. And this situation that I'm in right now will be no different. Now, let's get into the negatives, the fun negatives. So, how did this all start, and what was going on with me? So, I was in Miami a couple of years ago, seeing Gibbs fight, and pretty heavy drinking every night, jet lagged, just really compromising my immune system. Came back to London feeling like shit, and I got COVID, and I've never been the same since. It's absolutely mental. How can I describe it? Ever since having this, it started off basically a full recovery after a few weeks of really intense fatigue. And then the fatigue just kept creeping back in until the point where I was basically bedbound. If I can explain to you boys how long COVID makes me feel, it's like if you have ever not ate for a day or so, and you really need to eat, you're weak and shaky. And that's how it feels constantly for me, to the point where it's even hard to have a conversation with someone. As I say, the first year was really bad. Most days were bad, and any days that was good, I would go into MaxFit and do a little bit of work. But I didn't see my friends for a year and a half. It was just a terrible year. And it gets worse because during this time period, I obviously didn't really know what was going on with me. Long COVID wasn't really recognized back then. I wasn't even sure if that's what I had. So I went and seen this functional medicine doctor in Dublin, and he gave me ozone therapy. And I went to sleep that night, and I woke up more blind than I was before. Not like I'm fine. If you see me on a day-to-day basis, you wouldn't notice a difference, but it's made a big impact in my life. I've got an extra blind spot in my central vision, which affects my detail. I can't see people's faces as well anymore, unless you're really close. It just sucked. It really sucked. And just to sum up how bad that year was, 2020, at the same time I got this ozone therapy, I also had a bad reaction to it in other ways. It gave me really intense depression for 2 weeks. It was really weird. I've never had depression like it in my life. I really understand now how people feel that have real bad depression. It was terrible. And during that period, my dad had a stroke. It's never a good time for your dad to have a stroke, but that was a particularly bad time. The point is that 2020 sucked. 2020 sucked, and 2021 sucked for the most part, until, back to the positivity, towards the end of 2021, a lot of research starts coming out. I go and get a blood test. I find out that I have micro blood clots. And this explains everything. It makes me feel so much better already, just knowing what was going on with me. Essentially, my body's riddled with these micro blood clots. They're not big enough to cause a heart attack or a stroke, but they're bigger than the capillaries, which capillaries are little holes that let in oxygen into your body and oxygenate your tissues. So my capillaries are getting clogged up with these micro blood clots. and I'm in a constant state of hypoxia, which is low oxygen in your blood, in your tissues, in your organs. So I'm basically being suffocated by my own blood. So I'm currently on some pretty heavy anticoagulants, which are making me feel a bit worse at the minute, but they should make me feel better in the long term. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, boys. Where does that leave this channel and me right now? I do want, as I say, I never wanted to quit YouTube. I do see myself coming back to YouTube, but in a very different way, guys. Like, I'll be honest, towards the end of my YouTube career, it became a paycheck for me. You know, I wasn't doing it for the love anymore. I was doing it because I was making a living off it. And that started growing me to hate it. Whereas now, guys, I don't need to make money off YouTube. You know, I've set myself up outside of YouTube, thankfully. And if I do come back, I'll be doing what I enjoy. Now, the question is what I enjoy something you guys will enjoy anymore? I don't know. It'll probably be something along the lines of, you know, I love talking about politics and world affairs and aliens and, you know, just talking about things like spirituality and, you know, is it real, is it not, or what's going on in the world, and, you know, essentially like a Joe Rogan or a Russell Brand type channel. If that is something you guys would be interested in, let me know in the comment section below, because it will encourage me to do something like that. But in the meantime, I need to focus on my health, so it's not going to be happening next week if I do it. In the meantime, if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing or what I'm up to, follow my Instagram. The link is in the description below. And yeah, until next time, guys, have a good day.